Elsie Vijjeswarapu, and I'm a sophomore at Archbishop Williams High School. And today I'm going to be talking to you about the sources, toxicity, and longevity of per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances. So I'm sure you've all been concerned at some point about potential harmful chemicals in our consumer products. Like, who wants pesticides in our fruit, or formaldehyde in our shampoo, or BPAs in our plastic water bottles, or even PFASs in our water? But wait, what are PFASs? And why are they so bad to have in my water? I first explored these questions when I was involved in an environmental organization called GLOBE. Through my school, I was able to work alongside a research scientist from Boston University, who was also a GLOBE associate, in order to just find some local opportunities for me to be involved in for research. So then I and a group of partners were able to go down to the Great Pond Reservoir, which supplies drinking water to Braintree, Randolph, and Holbrook, in order to test for some general pollutants there. And from this general research, I was able to diverge more into the topic of polyfluoroalkyl substances, also known as PFASs or PFAS, in the soil and how they contaminate the soil. And also that topic diverged into being more about water quality. So why are PFASs actually so harmful to the human body? Well, the reason why they're really toxic is because they can cause cancer and a variety of other health problems relating to the nervous, endocrine, reproductive, and immune system. But PFASs are also really long-lasting in the environment. And this is a general image of like the structure of a PFAS. It kind of looks like a sideways skeleton in a way, with the various different types of heads at the front and the long chain of carbon-fluorine bonds at the back. And this chain of carbon-fluorine bonds are actually the reason for why PFASs are so long-lasting in the environment and can last for more than 1,000 years, giving them the name forever chemicals. But you're probably wondering, how often do I actually come across these chemicals in my day-to-day life? Well, the answer is you come across these chemicals a lot. And just to emphasize this fact, I want to just walk you through a day in the life of an average person. So let's say this person, first thing in the morning, they want to make some eggs for breakfast on their new non-stick cooking pan. Then, because they have to go to work, they put on a rain jacket because it's raining outside. And then for lunch, they eat some fast food. So they get a burger and some fries. And then let's say they go outside and they go on a walk and then they scrape their knee and they have to put a Band-Aid on it. Well, little did this person know that all of these events actually expose them to so many PFASs. The non-stick cooking pan, the rain jacket, the grease-resistant fast food packaging, and the Band-Aid all contain a coating of PFASs due to their water-resistant and grease-resistant properties. And these different types of products are manufactured in factories that use PFASs. And these factories distribute PFASs into the air, into the soil, and into our waterways, alongside landfills, aviation firefighting foam, pesticides used in agriculture, and all of that buildup of PFASs go into our waterways and can contaminate our drinking water. So another source of PFASs that can enter into our waterways is rainwater runoff. So according to the most recent Braintree Water Quality Report, just after 1 inch of rain in general, about 748 gallons of stormwater run off of our roofs, and about 27,150 gallons of stormwater run off of our parking lots. And the reason why this is such a problem is because our roofs and our parking lots, they contain PFASs. So when the rainwater runs off of our roofs and our parking lots, they can bring those PFASs into our water streams. And I want to show you an example of the effect of this kind of runoff. So according to the most recent Holbrook Water Quality Report, the highest detected level in their drinking water of PFASs was 23.7 parts per trillion, which is above the highest allowed level, which is 20 parts per trillion. So just to further support my point about rainwater and runoff affecting the pollutants in our water, over the summer, I worked alongside the Neponset River Watershed Organization through my school in order to test for some general pollutants in the Neponset River. And according to my data, in week 3 of the testing, actually, there was a huge spike in the amount of pollutants in the river. And actually, before we took the data for week 3, it had just rained. So the amount of pollutants that were present on the groundwater could have totally seeped into the Neponset River because of the rainwater runoff and could have caused that increase of pollutants in the river. So I want to share some main points with you. So it's important to be informed about our town's water quality reports so that we can know what's going on and how many pollutants are present in our drinking water. It's also important to be vigilant because of how prevalent PFASs are. We can test for them in our environment and find cost-effective ways to do so. We should also stay mindful. We should avoid using products that contain PFASs in order to limit our environmental exposure to products that contain PFASs. So what I'm doing right now is I'm continuing to research PFASs, and just recently I wrote a piece of writing about PFASs and their harm to us and the environment, and I published it on an environmental competition, an environmental writing competition, because I love to write. And it's on a site called Write the World. And I did this in order to spread awareness about this kind of pollution in our waterways and how it can contaminate our local streams and our local reservoirs and affect us as people because of all the adverse health effects that it has. So I wanted to highlight it's important to be informed, be vigilant, and be mindful about the harms that PFASs can cause to us and to our environment. Thank you.